Hello friends and welcome to the grand finals of the StarCraft Evolution League. The league that was held on the StarCraft 2 mod that allows you to play StarCraft Brood War versus StarCraft 2. And today we have a Terran from StarCraft 2 versus a Brood War Zerg. So a Terran versus Zerg. Han Mono is a pretty high Grandmaster player on the Korean ladder, I think. At least he is Grandmaster on the Korean ladder, somewhere top 50-ish, I believe. And on the other side, we have 3-Point, our Brood War Zerger, who is struggling mightily with that first Reaper, of course. With the lack of Queens, I always assumed that Reapers would be extremely strong against this. I'm surprised to only see a single one come out instead of maybe 2 or 3 Reapers. To have a full wall and a high ground command center, perhaps expecting some type of rush. 3-Point opened up with a 3-hatch type of build, fast 3 hatcheries, no queens to kind of keep that larva production up. We have an instant Hydra list then coming out. Of course, in Brood War that is possible, in StarCraft 2 that is not. You're going to need a lair for that in StarCraft 2. But we have a third base out here already as well. So we're playing on Golden Ball, very old school map that I always thought provided a lot of fun games. I'm curious to see how it's going to pan out here. You have a creep colony on the way, and this allows you to spread a little bit of creep. It does cost you some cash. Sadly, it can also morph into either a sunken or into a spore, sunken being the equivalent of a spine crawler. A couple of Hellions moving out. I wonder what the... Okay, it's going to turn right into a sunken colony. So I was going to say, I wonder what the defense is going to be here. As we see muscular augments, the Hydralisk speed being researched. I was wondering what the defense was going to be against the Hellions, but I guess with a sunken colony, maybe you're just going to be fine. Still, of course, need some links behind that to capture. But both of these players pretty high level on this mod, which I think is very cool. I've seen a lot of high level players play this mod, but I haven't seen high level players that are good at this mod. So for example, the 3-Point dude managed to beat Shin, a much higher rated pro gamer, in the round before this, which I thought was just very cool. It's really cool to see that strategies do matter. So we have a little bit of a link run by here into the natural. At the same time, Hellions trying to make their way across the map. As the Sunken is defending that. Hellions take a lot of damage from it. Are the first Hydras already on the way? No, not quite yet. Instead, we have a lair here coming up. Another hatchery popping out as well. Double evolution chambers for those potential upgrades. I don't think we have a single Hydra yet. No, we just have 5 links, a bunch of overlords, and the rest is just pure drones. A lot of drones, by the way, here out already. 58, and I think, what is this? This is Zerglings. I'm still getting used to the to the little icons. To me, it looks more like a Hydralisk, but a Zergling is fine as well, I guess. So 16 more links on the way here. 3 more gases coming in. Seems like the Hydra then is just for safety's sake. It's, of course, very expensive to build Hydras because they cost gas. You only want to build them if you really need them. And I think soon they will be needed as the first 2 medevacs are about to pop out here. So the Terran opening up with, what was this, like a 4 Hellion? Yeah, 4 Hellion type of vibe. Reaper into 4 Hellion. Double drop heading out. And Pureling is going to, it's going to get you somewhere, but at some point you're going to need something else. And now we have our first Hydras coming out perfectly in time here. So you really see that 3-Point over here has kind of, he understood, you know, the mission. And the mission being not dying versus the first 2 medevacs. And I think he's going to succeed in that mission as well. We have pneumatized carapace coming in, of course. It's going to increase the overlord movement speed by 238%. Awfully precise. As 5 more drones are on the way out. Eco's kind of even. Here come the Zerglings moving in forward. Gonna go for a surround. A couple of them will die. The Hydras don't quite get the hits that they want. But they do get some hits. Actually, did they get any hits? No, medevac still full HP. Spire now on the way. Ooh. Okay. I wonder what that's gonna be for. So perhaps some safety Hydras. We already have the Lurker aspect being upgraded here. That enables the Hydralisk to morph into Lurkers. So it's a little bit of a Lurker rush. Could maybe use some Mutas or maybe even some Scourge to deal with the air units in that case. As we see Mono now setting up for a little bit of a Hellbat push. It's basically the same push as before. It doesn't have any extra upgrades, but it does have the Hellbats +1. Carapace is about to be taken out. That's a pretty big deal. Here comes a fat surround. Hydralisk not targeting the medevacs quite yet. Instead are just opting to clear everything on the ground. Not sure how much I agree with that. So you see a lot more links on the way. We have another hatchery coming up as well. Spire is about to finish up and 6 Lurkers being popped out. Really wondering what they're going to be capable of doing here. Of course, moving across the map could be scary as there's currently no tanks. It seems like the preferred way of playing, the preferred mode, is going to be Hellbats, which is kind of cool because Hellbats are really good against both Lings and Hydras. And of course, there's currently no Banelings out on the map, so it might actually be good to have that. Both of these are turning into sunken colonies. So a lot of static defense here for the Zerg, who's now on 83 drones. Lurkers, burrowed, do have their hold position, are gonna start shooting now and get a lot of damage instantly, taking out 8-9 Marines there. Here comes the attack forward. Lurkers only at 140 HP. Gonna start moving in towards the third base, and as there's no real defense there in the form of tanks, that could be scary. Mono needs to be extremely careful right now, so the first Lurkers are gonna burrow. Of course, gonna require a scan to really do anything. There we go, here comes the scan. Ghost coming out. Very fast Ghost rush behind this. So went probably for like triple tech labs or something. Yeah, we see 3 tech labs. So I love how there is... I feel like too often when I've seen other people play this mod, it has just been playing their own game and pretending, you know, that Brood War Zerg is the same as StarCraft 2 Zerg. But here we see Han Mono really, you know, playing that Hellbat Ghost style. And I have to admit, I haven't watched a lot of StarCraft Evolution, but this is the first time where I see such kind of specific builds, such specific openers to deal with the threats that the other race has, which is very cool. That, you know, kind of a special meta has developed there. Lurkers once again gonna move in first. Scourge indeed are out. Can of course clear air units extremely quickly. This medevac is gonna get blasted real fast. It tries to boost back and actually gets to survive. A lot of the Scourge is gonna end up going down. Do we have a scan? Yes, we do. Here come a couple of snipes. Hellbat's moving forward as well. At the same time, we have a Ling run by into the main base. Clear a lot of these SCVs, and 3-Point behind all of this has been consistently expanding, building more and more sunken colonies as well to keep those bases safe, and allowing himself to just kind of rally units across the map. More Scourge is now being sent out as well. 88 drones is such a high worker count. Creep spread is poor, but I guess without queens, that's just the way it is. Do we have any next tech coming up? No. Just sticking here with our... oh, actually, we do have the hive already. Never mind. Didn't even realize that. In that case, Adrenal Glands should be popping out soon. Yeah, there we have it. Adrenal Glands is on the way, of course. One of the most impactful upgrades in the entire game. More Lurkers are being morphed. We have some more creep colonies being added in as well. This one still needs to morph into a sunken as well. Gonna try maybe a different side of the map, a different approach. Overlord over here sees the lack of a base. So really, if you're playing against 3 base and you have 5, 6 bases yourself, I think just staying somewhat defensive is going to be just fine. You have a Roach War now being added in, as well as a 6th hatchery, or at least a 6th base. I think we have like, yeah, we have 7 hatcheries and a hive already. So when it comes to production, we're absolutely buzzing. 21 larvae currently available. We have 100 and, well, we used to have 105 links. Now we only have 90 left. 10 Lurkers. And what is this? 2 Hydras, a bunch of Scourge. Medevac count has grown a little bit. So is the ghost count, up to 10. This game has kind of calmed down at this point. We're going to get more and more creep colonies, just pushing this forward. Supplies are honestly getting closer, which is a bad sign here, in my opinion, for the Zerg. Because the Zerg has better eco and just kind of wants to trade the entire time. That should be the goal. Plague is now being upgraded here. It's going to allow that for the Defilers. Plague, of course, a very... powerful spell, dealing a lot of damage per second. Can't kill a unit. It can definitely, you know, beat it down a notch. Good snipes coming out here of these ghosts. There's 3 Lurkers fall, 3 of them left with just 11 HP. And here comes the attack into the natural. But without anything really to burst through all of this, it's going to be hard. Good splits here coming out of Han Mono as well, who is playing, yeah, just pretty much a Hellbat Marine Ghost composition. Which I guess is a pretty catch-all comp against almost everything the Brood War Zerg can do. Defilers now coming out. So, curious to see how these are going to be used. And how Han Mono wants to deal with those. Lurkers get taken out from a distance with those snipers. +3 melee on the way here as well. We have a little bit of a drop. We have quite a decently sized drop. There's 2 Defilers in this Overlord. There you go. Lovely to see. Can of course consume as well. To get a little bit extra energy. We're just gonna see a pure Ling drop. Triple Overlord Ling drop heading in probably towards the, what was this, the natural? Fort base extremely late here for Han Mono. Has struggled this entire game, just kind of stabilizing. Now it's gonna push out with a near maxed army. Does have the +3 attack upgrade. Look how bad the carapace upgrades are here for a Zerg player, only at +1. If we get a fight at this point, that could be a huge issue. A huge issue, I tell you. The Overlords are moving in position. What else do we have? Okay. Here go the Defilers. Can they do anything here? Are we going to see EMPs and snipes hitting before? We have a couple of Dropper Lords. As EMPs are going to hit these Defilers. Can we get any big cast stuff? The answer seems to be, oh my god. Get some stuff here at least, as a lot of these units are being hit. And look at that. Oi, 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 getting extremely damaged here. Of course, they can die. You still need to deal the final hit against them. But this is a well-damaged army. Lurkers are going to get sniped. The supplies are close. As finally the triple drop is going to hit. These ghosts are so low. I feel like if you just had any ground attack at this point, you're just going to take them out. It takes, I believe, 25 seconds or something insane as well. Like the duration of this spell is so freaking long. So freaking long. All of these med effects so low as well. Plague is truly imbalanced, except it doesn't kill anything. Here we go with the next attack. Hellbat's in front, Ghost in the back. Gonna need some links to run past to deal with this. Han Mono should not be capable of winning here. Defilers now being dropped behind us. We see another Plague being cast. A lot of these units are falling and falling. Medevac so close to dying, but nothing to finish them off. 3 point is gonna push this back. Fusion Core has now finished up. We see a Greater Spire as well as a second Spire on the way. More Scourge coming in, more Links coming in. As 3 point is going to push in here. Has a Lurker burrowed as well. The Filers in the back are going to get sniped. As a Ghost flank coming in. It's going to be taking out a lot of these units. Let's not forget the upgrades are not ideal carapace-wise here for the Zerg player. Terran is going to clean this up once more. So much money invested in all these creep colonies and all these sunkens. And not a single time have we seen a drop come out of Han Mono or really any type of pressure that even threatened the base in the past, well, 8 minutes or 6. Yeah, no, actually the last 8 minutes. We haven't seen anything there. Gonna have another big drop coming in, this time with some Defilers there as well. We have a Hydra in. I'd love to see a Lurker. I feel like having Lurkers in drops is so good because you're always going to need some type of detection to deal with this. Ooh, we now have a Mutalist transition, which is what I hadn't expected. Maybe he wants to go into Guardians, as he does have the Greater Spire. Of course, need that to morph the Mutalisk into those. Drop hits the natural. Here comes, Dark Swarm being cast here. Kind of cute, except no fight is happening in there. As everything just kind of gets sniped. Ghost, even against Brood War Zerg, are pretty freaking overpowered. The resources lost heavily in favor for the Terran right now. I think the main problem for the Terran is just the complete lack of bases. I mean, main has now ran out. Natural is about to run out. So this is going to be pretty much a Hail Mary push here. And indeed, it's going to be Guardians. Yeah, I already was wondering. Some late game Mutalist transitions is not very common, especially if your air upgrades are this garbage. I mean, it has a single air armor upgrade. It's not going to be good enough. The Filer still on the ground. We have 5 of them, I think, total. 12 Guardians, 5 Defilers, 7 Lurkers. Bit of a movement forward. This is still a pretty fierce army as well. Good run by now, as you don't really see anything in position for Han Mono to deal with this. Blue Flame Hellions maybe can help against the Lynx, but here come the Guardians, and they're gonna start dishing out a lot of damage. And good luck trying to get a snipe in against these, especially if there's Lurkers nearby. Sunken's now actually helping out for the first time in this entire series. The Filer drop coming in is going to try and hit some fat plates. And there we go, look at all of that. She's gonna drop so freaking fast as the Guardians rip everything to shreds on the ground. And I do believe that that is going to be pretty much it for this game number 1. I don't see a way for Mono to come back. And there we go, GG gets called. Game number 1 goes to the Zerg. Map number 2 here is going to be called Paradox. I've never seen this map in my entire life. I'm gonna assume it's some type of Brood War map. It looks weird. It has a rich Vespene geyser in the main. So, yeah, this can only be a Brood War map in my mind. We also have full mineral patches here. Look at that. All 8 of them have the same amount. I'm not sure if that's always the case on this mod. I don't think so. I haven't actually paid attention to that. Yeah, wild first game. Actually fun to watch. It's really interesting. I find it much more interesting to watch players that have slightly lower mechanical skill but much higher theoretical skill in a given matchup or in a given game. It's just more fun to see the theoretical perfect play. And like these Defiler drops, they're actually putting in some serious works. Because it's always going to be possible for someone with much better mechanics to win with worse strategies, right? That's actually really cool to see both of these guys in the final. Because, yes, they're good at StarCraft. It's not like they're some schmucks, you know. They have good MMR. Both of them are mid to I wouldn't call it high GM, but definitely mid GM on Korea. And seeing them execute this type of stuff so well is freaking fun. It's going to be a double hatch opener here. So you see Han Mono also with a triple CC. I mean, this is just legitimately not a build. I even think it is economically inefficient, but I could be wrong. Because of the power of the orbital. Orbital is so good that you really want to get it ASAP. Like the orbital pays for itself within the first minute. The first Mew gathers 225 minerals. Of course, the orbital only costs 150. So I feel like the return on that building is really freaking fast. I'm not sure if going triple CC actually is that much better. I like economically, and definitely allows you way less pressure. So you can play, for example, CC, fast double CC, like CC first into a barracks with a relatively okay timed Reaper still, but that's not what we're gonna see. This actually was freaking 4 hatch before pool. Look at that. Very heavy here on the eco. Very heavy on the eco. It's gonna allow him a lot of larva. These are just 6 mineral patches, by the way, on this base. I wonder if it's the same here. This is just 4 mineral patches. So this is a low eco map. Is there even a way to walk to the other side? What the hell is this? This is like an island map or something. Yeah, this definitely looks like... What the hell is it? Oh, it is an island map. Oh, this looks like some Brood War shenanigans. This is some absolute Brood War shenanigans. I don't think we ever had a map like this in StarCraft 2. At least not that I can remember. Gonna see a factory now popping out as well. Lots of gas, of course, because of that. Those 2 rich Vespine geysers putting in the work. Gonna have triple orbitals soon. Not sure where this hatch is going, but I love it. I do. Relatively quick lair attack as well. Could maybe even see like some mech or some air Terran. Like some battle cruisers would be kind of sick. It's going to be a fast Hydra then, now being thrown down. Double gas is still pumping. What happens when you play music? Does it play the Brood War music? Actually, I have no clue. Starport on the way out. We have the tech lab coming down on the factory. So probably still wants to pump some Hellions here. I wouldn't mind a Viking or even a medevac. And we're going to see double armory. This feels like a mech vibe, you know? It really just feels like a mech vibe. It's going to scout it instantly as well. We have Ventral Sex as the first upgrade. Even before the Pneumatized Carapace comes out, which is wild. Double Evo Chambers. As well as a Queen's Nest here. I wanted to say... an infestation pit, but the infestation pit is just the skin that has been applied to it. Spire comes down, so he's getting every single unit in the entire game. I think the Ventral Sex is actually going to be for an expand. I don't think this Ventral Sex is going to be for an aggressive drop. Of course, it's nice to get it for drops eventually, but I think it's just going to be for a drone. Just going to send, yeah, there we go. It's going to send a bunch of drones. Well, why a bunch of drones, actually? You only need a single drone initially. You can keep mining a little bit with the others. Surely that's going to be better. Pop them in there. And it should be fine. Double Vikings now coming out. We have 2 more starports. Okay, it's just going to be mass air Terran. Wait, is he actually just massing Vikings? That is not a build. I guess... there is no real end. I mean, you have the Hydra that you can build pretty quickly. So we get a scan. He's actually messing Viking. So now I don't quite know why that is. Like, my theoretical knowledge of this mod is just simply too poor to make a good call. But I've never seen it. We're gonna have Mass Scourge. This seems to be the meta, because this dude is blindly messing Scourge. He hasn't really scouted a whole lot. A starport. I guess a starport with a reactor is pretty nutty by itself. That is pretty weird. This base now being taken. We have the double gases on the way. 12 more drones as well coming in. Han Mono actually on a surprisingly low worker count, but I guess these minerals, they just don't require that many workers. We have some random turrets being spammed. Mines now being thrown down as well. Scourge only have 30 HP. What's this? Is this Hydras? No, yeah, Hydra list coming out. So you have a bunch of Hydras as well popping. Fort bases here is being muled on. I've never seen a mass Viking rush. It's just not really a thing. I mean, a single mine is going to hit this and it just dies, no? Oh no, there we go. It's going to fly into a turret. Mine's not quite going to connect. But these turrets get a lot of kills there. I think 5 or 6 of these Scourges end up going down. Gonna have the drone drop now coming in. We have a drone drop over here as well. So the entire map is being taken by the Zerg, who is now also getting a bunch more Hydras. We have grooved spines on the way. So definitely want some anti-air, which makes a lot of sense because you're playing against someone that is messing Vikings, which is not a real build. I just don't understand what the point of Vikings is. Maybe Vikings are good enough when landed against Hydras? And I guess you have a very powerful harassment tool. If you're the king of the sky, how can someone easily reinforce? I guess Nidus canals are going to be the only option. We have a couple of creep colonies now coming in. Should turn into sunkens, I guess, rather than spores. 2 more gases as well coming in. I mean, 3-point, the Zerg player definitely has a better worker count. This is just so silly. Sensor towers are uber broken here as well, by the way. Okay, here comes some Scourge. Oh, they kill stuff fast. They kill stuff real fast, absolutely. This drone is... I don't quite know what it's doing, but it's around, which is allowed, I guess. It's gonna die now against these mine shots. Yeah, then here comes the first Nidus canal. It's gonna be built. I mean, this could just be a serious issue. We're gonna have 4 more drones dropping, throw down something. No? Not gonna be capable of throwing down anything. You have another Nidus canal here being built. More and more sunkens on the way as well, everywhere. It's just going to be mass Viking. This is just such a weird setup here. We're gonna get a mass drop. So we have what? 7 overlords. 1/1 upgrades. New Nidus canal. So all of these bases are now connected with one another. There's a lot of cash in the bank here for 3-point. A lot of cash in the bank. What's the larva count? 17. Should be enough. Should be enough to pump out whatever he wants. You have a fusion core on the way. As Han Mono probably wants to start transitioning into, I guess, battle cruisers. Still flying around with just pure Viking. This is one of the most surreal games I've seen because I don't understand it. Anything you don't understand usually looks kind of funky. Okay, we're just gonna get a land and... Oh, he's just gonna clear the overlords first? Sure, you can just land here. Start by shooting down the Nidus. Yeah, that's what I would do too. Makes a lot of sense. Gonna get a counter drop here. I don't know what this says, but I bet it says something. Good luck lifting your Vikings, you prick. Because that's going to be hard. Hydras actually have dropped. Or have spawned somehow. And getting these Vikings in the sky is actually going to be quite tricky. There are a lot of turrets here, but they're going to base trade. And the Viking count is going to go down rapidly. Macro is not absolutely ideal. This base will need to lift. I think that should be the priority here for the Hydralisk as well. They are going to try shooting it at least a little. These Vikings, I mean, they can go up into the sky one by one, but a lot of them are going to end up falling. It requires 2 hits for them to die, but... Right now he's saying that he feels like a clown for making them go down. Oh, he wants to still lift them. Oh, look what he's going to do. He's going to spread out, then he's going to lift them and go for it like that. See if he can maybe target 1 or 2 down before. Which actually kind of a good move. Should probably just split them 1 by 1. We have more Vikings now. Oh, this is smart. This actually is a good play. I love that. Vikings are going to come over. They're going to try rescuing these bad boys. I hadn't even considered that. These guys are light years ahead of me, but at the same time, the cavalry is coming in as well. As the Hydras are going to drop. Ooh, this is exciting. We have a lot of Vikings in the sky. We have a lot of Hydras on the ground. We have a lot of Vikings on the ground as well. A couple of Scourge still just hanging around. Hydras are actually going to get blasted by these landed Vikings. So although it was a cute move, it was not the right one. As Vikings with the 2-2 upgrades, much better than the Hydras with the 1-1. There's a lot of Hydras just idling here. They have no way of leaving this place. And this is going to be one of these weird games right now. Because I think you can just full send it here. You can just land and you should be fine. What do we have on the way here? We have a couple of Defilers now finally coming in. We're gonna get the Plague upgrade as well. Plague! There we go. 2-2 finishes for the Hydras. 3-3 instantly starts. Instantly start. And I guess we're gonna get Battle Cruisers and Ravens at some point. I wouldn't mind a Raven. I mean, if you have Vikings, anti-armor missile is freaking banging, let me tell you. That is a banging upgrade. I mean, 3 Point still has good eco, but he also has 20, like what is this, 23 Hydras just kind of stuck on an island, which ideally you get out of. Drones are now going to drop into this base. We have this fort base being set up with a planetary. It is just so hard to get the units into the right spots. Here comes the land. I can only imagine. Oh. But here come the Hydras too. Yep, there we go. Gonna keep this base safe. Vikings have a lot of freaking HP. Holy cow. Hydras are balls. I'm gonna have to transport themselves back to this area. Would love to see a Nidus Canal being built here as well. Feels like that would be a useful thing to have. We're gonna get the full land. The full send. Still have a lot of units on here. Definitely should be trying to come back home. Poor control here so far out of 3 Point, or at least poor management, as he loses his Nidus Canal right now. Can't even return back home. It's going to be stuck here. Defilers, do they have the Plague? Yes, they do have the Plague. They don't quite have the energy yet. Gonna need to consume a little bit. Here we go. Not yet. Vikings will piss off. New Nidus Canal is going to get thrown down here, because these Hydras definitely want to escape this island. Still going to need to escape from here over here as well. This is so sad. How long does it take to build this building? 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Here comes an 8 SCV drop. Snipes this. I mean, theoretically, you can just leave maybe 1 or 2 Vikings here to shoot from the high ground, no? You have the air control. Comes another scan. It's gonna see that there's a bunch of Hydras there. We have a fat drop. A couple of Defilers in there too. I mean, you can drop onto this. You already have a planetary. The turret count is looking good. Maybe you can get some Lurkers on this high ground. That would be useful. Here come the Vikings. Nope, I'm not gonna be capable of doing anything. And here we go. Can he drop? Can he drop? Yes, he can. We're gonna get a Dark Swarm here. Minimize the damage. Actually, deny the damage. What are you doing? I'm just making all of this up. I don't actually speak Korean. But I feel like, what do you think this is, you clown? Something along those lines. Oh, comes another Dark Swarm, and now that these Vikings have landed, can you actually target mechanical units? Oh, yes, you can, baby. There we go. Plague! As the Vikings can absolutely blast it. This is a nice looking effect as well. Of course, still need to be finished up eventually. Right now, it's not really happening. Oh my god. Freaking Defilers. So good. So good. A lot of Vikings are going to go down. I'd love to see a bit of multitasking here, though. Like, maybe another drop at the same time over here, but it ain't happening. I mean, we have the drop lords available, but just have full focus on this crap. Okay, now we are setting up a drop. I'm not sure where we're going. A bunch of drones being added into the mix as well. Still have a drone overlord here too. This looks ridiculous, no? He's just kind of chilling. He's angry. He said, "This is stupid. Your race is busted. I'm never gonna beat you." It does look very strong. The filers are banging, let me tell you. Absolutely banging unit. Hatchery's gonna get sniped by these Vikings. And we're gonna go in for the mass drop. Do we have any more defilers in the mix? I do love that unit. Okay, just over here. Yeah, that's not quite gonna cut it, I don't think. Drones get blasted. Hate to see it. Lots of low Vikings, but as long as there's some Vikings, you should be fine. This is gonna get absolutely murdered here by these Vikings in the sky. Look at that. 3, 4, 5, 6 Overlords all going down before they get to land. This is a blunder here out of 3-point. Yeah, it's just gonna get cleaned up. And now you can land these Vikings. This has just been legit mass Vikings. He's lost 32 Vikings. He still has like 50 left or something. He's killing his opponent on the other side. This seems like a ridiculous strategy. But a strategy is only ridiculous if he loses. And this is a W. GG gets called as the series is going to be tied up. I feel like StarCraft EVO is a little bit like shrooms, you know? Like, you can enjoy it, but it needs to be done in proper moderation. Maybe it's more like alcohol intake, you know? You can, nah, actually no. You can... I don't want to have this on even a monthly basis. Every 3 months, I just check up on what's kicking off with the, you know, the EVO mod. It's pretty enjoyable. I actually do kind of like it. It's just fun to see that there are some people that are obviously very committed to playing it a lot and a real meta has developed. But I feel like if you play it too much, I think you're just going to get frustrated by certain interactions. But I kind of like this. It's fun to watch. It's definitely something different. Just been really enjoying it. I feel like this is the golden age of StarCraft 2 mods at a kind of semi-competitive level as well. You know, we've always had the tower defenses and all the arcade games, but now it feels like there's a lot of cool mods that are just coming out and are there. I've recently been playing a bit of the Cyan mod as well, which I was shocked at how freaking good that was. I couldn't believe it. I remember seeing like 5 years ago, like Loco making some video and it's like, this new mod has 3 new races. I'm like, I already hate the first 3. I don't want 3 more. But I was watching, I was playing a bit. I was like, man, this works really well. There's some really cool concepts in there. There's some things I freaking hate. But it's just fun to watch. It's a perfect mix between like novelty and familiarity, I feel like. And it's the same with this. Like, I freaking hate Brood War, but you put Brood War in the StarCraft 2 engine, you know, the game doesn't suck half as bad. It's still ugly, but less ugly, you know. I do dig that. I really do. Gonna open up once again with a crap ton of hatcheries. This is, it looks like a nasty lag. It's the metabolic boost upgrade, right? Jesus, you're really not supposed to lose your Reaper like that. I am not an expert. Well, actually, I am an expert. I am an expert, and I'm telling you, you're not supposed to lose your Reaper like that, because it's garbage. Okay, it's going to build a hatchery a bit further forward, so that's going to be the 5th hatchery. Classic 5 hatch. Love to see it. Gonna have an orbital command coming up in the natural. Triple CC follow-up. I feel like Banshees would be good, no? Am I crazy? No, I'm not. Banshees would be good. Although the Spore Crawlers are freaking bananas. I remember seeing that thing. That packs a serious punch, the Spore Crawler. It's a bit like a cannonball, it looks like. And also it has the impact of a cannonball. You know, you look at a cannon, it's like, oh, that's old. Yeah, but you get a cannonball in your stomach, you're dead. It's the same with the Spores. Ooh, that looks like it was created in 1997 or whenever StarCraft 1 came out. But just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad. Just like Mike Tyson is about to punch some people. Despite him being old, I would not want to get punched by Mike Tyson. Even when this guy is going to be 85, he's going to be beating me up. Okay, we have a sunken colony here. We're going to have a sunken colony soon here as well. I can only imagine. That's what I would do. Boom, top of every ramp. So the lack of queens does make matters pretty freaking difficult. They also morph fast, which I think is kind of sick. I really do like that. Puff. 1, 2. A nice animation too. I like that animation going into the ground. I think it's cool. This base is now under attack, as you all can see. Hellions are firing it up. Flaming it down. Torching up the place. We have more drones on the way. Pretty late starport. Feels like this guy only knows one build. And that's the... kind of a 2-on-1 type of fight. I guess last game was a different build. It was Mass Viking, but it also was a weird map. It was a very odd map. Some would even say it's the weirdest map I've seen in my life. Stimpack is gonna finish up. These Hellions are not gonna see the end of the day. They're not going to see another sunrise. Or a sundown. They're not going to be seeing the sun anymore, in general. They're going to get the light knocked out of their eyes. Well, they're busy torching up this place. The other dude was busy getting out a lot of links now, please. This is not the optimal micro here with the link. He's going to get this around eventually. It's going to clean all of them up. That's nice. Because that means that the follow-up Hellbat attack, which I think was probably going to show up at some point, is not going to happen. We have more links now being morphed. 55 drones are out. A lot of these drones are working day and night in the mineral mines. Not a whole lot of gas. We have 3 gases. There is a Hydra then. Yeah, there is a Hydra then. So I'm expecting some Hydras coming out. I have to hover over every single larva that pops because I don't recognize these little icons on the production tab. It's like, what is this? Oh, a hatchery again. It's not very clear at all to me. Ooh, Lurker aspect is already being upgraded. So a straight rush into Lurker. Single mine is here. Can we micro? Oh, yes, baby, we can. Yes, sir, I can boogie. I don't even need real music for it. Just boogieing by myself. I once watched a silent disco a couple of years back. And I don't really like that idea at all of a silent disco. The entire point of going out is kind of to talk to people. In general, I'm not huge on the discos because even when you're not wearing headphones, it's still difficult to talk with people because the music is so freaking loud. I also never understood bars that play their music too loud. The entire point of the bar, in my mind, is to have an alternative to the club, you know? Where it's obvious that you can't talk with anyone, but that's fine because you've had 5 alcoholic beverages and you're not gonna sound very solid anymore. You just hear the dance, have a good old time. But in a bar, there's often no good room for dancing. And then the music is very loud, so you can't even talk. It's like the worst of both worlds. Like, congratulations, you messed up both concepts. Went to a bar the other day. I was sitting relatively close to the speaker as well. It's just pissing me off. I hate it when I can't hear other people speak. Or what's also bad is if you're with a group of like 6 people, but you can only hear the people right next to you. Like, just to the left, you know? And even then, it's still screaming. It's just balls. It's not a conversation. It's a screaming match. No fun. Ooh, look at that. Fat Rumbai coming in right now. Aliens are gonna turn into Hellbats. We have the Queen's Nest that is about to finish up. Ling Rumbai is gonna hit the net. It's powerful, huh? They're absolutely chewing through these Marines like I'm chewing through my breakfast every morning. I'm gonna try to take out an eBay that is ambitious and stupid. Not stupidly ambitious, just ambitious and stupid, because it's not gonna work out. Ooh, are these queens? We're gonna see queens. Queens have some cool things. They have a thing called spawn broodlings, where you use this spell, you left click it on a unit, and the unit disappears. And out of it pop 2 broodlings. This sounds very broken, because it is. It's crazy. The queen also flies. It is a wild concept. I'm not sure if you need to upgrade the spawn broodling spell. I think it's just called spawn broodling. You can also infest command center. So if you damage a command center past the halfway point, you can infest it. And then I think infested Terrans come out, which sounds very broken and is very broken. Is there anything else that I'm missing here? They also have the ensnare ability. It's like a AoV. You can ensnare a bunch of units in a net. But I think it just slows them down. They look so stupid. I much prefer the queens in StarCraft 2. The ones that walk on the ground. Yeah, that's banging. That actually is banging. There's almost no ghost in this army. When I say almost no ghost, I mean there are no ghosts in this army. There's a couple of ghosts at home. This base gets taken out. You have a fusion core now? Is that for liberators, you think? I feel like libs would suck. Which Scourge available, no? You already have a Spire. We have the Hive done too. How many hatcheries? Okay, we have 7 hatcheries, 1 Hive. We have a lot of cash in the bank. We have a lot of larvae as well. And we have a lot of freaking drones. Okay, let's go. Like, what are we doing here? We have a planetary... Oh, that planetary is very low. This is prime opportunity for the Queen to show up and use the The parasite, what the hell was that? I think that is the ensnare ability. It's kind of like a fungal. I don't even know if it deals damage. I don't think it does. It's just like a very long slow. Look at that. Feels like they're getting slower over time as well. Which makes sense. Actually, it does. Yeah, I don't know. That's what happens. Okay, we have Plague now being researched. I think these are Defilers coming out. Plague just seems legitimately crazy powerful as a spell. Like, legit crazy powerful. We have a couple of Sunkens now on the way. We have a crap ton of Lurkers with fairly low range, by the way, for the people that don't know. Here comes some Snipes. Sunkens do finish up. We have a Ling Run by heading in as well at the same time. Han Mono in a little bit of trouble. Was not ready for this. Queens nearby could maybe infest the command center, which would be banging. I'm not sure if it only works against Brute War Terran or if they only made it happen against the, you know, the other Terrans. Here come the Defilers. Gonna need to consume some energy. We have Ventral Sex coming in, so most likely we're once again gonna see these Defiler drops. Drop the Defiler to dodge the EMP and the Snipes. Then cast the Plague like a beast. Oh, I love this move. I'm in love with this move. Yes, sir. There we go. It's gonna put these bad boys on hold fire. Gonna put these bad boys on hold fire. Sadly, Han Mono has a different setup that he wants to go for. He says, hey, actually, I want to go towards the one ramp that you don't have covered. That's not quite what 3 Point wants to happen. That is, quite frankly, the opposite of what 3 Point wants to happen. This is very difficult to deal with. What is this upgrade? I don't recognize this. Metasynaptic Node increases Defiler's energy by 50 and the starting energy by 25. Very cool. Now we have a Greater Spire coming in once again, most likely for that Guardian transition that we saw in game number 1. Full map control. Oh. Are 3 Lurkers enough to kill stuff? I think so. We're gonna have a fat Overlord drop. What's that? 7 or 6? I can't count. Either way, it's a lot of Overlord, and there's a lot of links in there. The fighters are gonna stay at home. I hear some noise. I don't know what that was. Oh, we're now gonna have a Defiler drop. Or just with the army, maybe. First, the Greatest Fire is about to finish up. We have 5 more Defilers on the way. Metasynaptic Nodes finishing up soon. That's going to help them spawn with a bit more energy. Oh, here come the Lurkers. Here come the Lurkers. We see Mono is very afraid of moving out, which is understandable. Because being on the map is scary. And ghosts are very good, so you want to get more of them. 3-3 is about to finish up too. When I say about to finish up, I mean it has just started. Here comes the fat drop. There's one Defiler with this as well, which I love. I love drops with just 1 unit of each in there. I think that's also good in actual StarCraft too. Like 1 Lurker with like a 25 link drop. Like that Lurker provides a lot of value. Quite a bit of backup. Here comes some Snipes. That is 3, 4, 5 that go down, I think. 3 stay alive. Same time we have a crap ton of Scourge here in the mix too. Queen still flying around. Do we have any Mutas starting? Not quite. Here comes the drop. Do we have Burrow? No, we don't either. There's a lot of things that we don't have. The things that we do have aren't really dealing a lot of damage. 30 larvae are available. There's a lot of creep colonies get built here. They'll start morphing into Sunkens instantly too. They have a pretty campy game actually. And I'm fully expecting Mutas to come out soon. I haven't seen them yet. Instead we just have pure Scourge, which is nice against the Metafacts, but I'd love to see some of these other bad boys. Okay, there we go. 17 Mutas now popping out. 17 Mutalisk. He's actually... Is he gonna go and fly somewhere important with these Mutas? I don't think so. These Mutas are obviously gonna end up being used for something sinister. Sensor tower gets blasted. Boom. Drone gets taken out. Do you have any Guardians? Oh, wait, 17 Guardians? Holy crap. That's a lot of Guardians. He instantly sees Viking start as well. So there's going to be Guardian, Scourge, Defiler, I guess. We have Queens in there too. This is a hard army to control. We have 24 Lurkers. 24. Well, now only 18. Those died very fast. Extremely rapido. As Sankens really pack a punch, huh? They can hold an area pretty well. Okay, here they come. Here they come. We have 17 Guardians. We're gonna push this back. We have Defilers in the back. Random Lurkers positioned on the map as well, which is interesting. Oh, here they come. Some fat shots. Plague gets used and does hit in a very big way as the Guardians continue chasing. We have these Defiler drops, and they're gonna get on top of this. They hit Plague on absolutely everything. And I think this is a very, very one-sided fight. At the same time, Ling Lurker, I'm not sure if there was a base here. If there was, it's now gone. Guardians are going to continue pushing in forward. Queens in the front are going to try slowing that army. Look how low all of these units are. Single shots here are just going to be good enough as these Defilers with the Plagues and the Guardians in the sky are getting it done. We have 4 more Defilers on the way. Do we have any anti-air at all? I think the answer is no. We're going to get 8 Mutas though. Vikings now turn around to try and shoot. It doesn't even really matter because it's going to take so freaking long to take out every single air unit. In the late game, it seems like the Zerg just reigns supreme as the Ghost who get caught. Plague with the Guardian is just such a powerful combination. We still have a 4 Defiler drop here in this Overlord waiting to hit. But yeah, on mono once again. Gonna get absolutely blasted. Won that last game with the Mass Vikings. Maybe it's time to revert to that, although on non-island maps, not sure how viable that's going to be. Mutas now show up, are going to deal with the Vikings, and that should indeed be it for now. GG gets called. Up next we have a 4-player map, so that must mean it's a Brood War map. You know, StarCraft 2 made a lot of mistakes, but one of the great things it did is that halfway through its current lifespan is that it made the decision to completely take out 4-player maps. And a lot of people will say, well, it makes the game fun and exciting. Gambles sometimes get rewarded. And although I understand that argument, I feel like gambling should be left to the people in the casino. And if you want to play a highly theoretical game like StarCraft 2, where usually the only thing that matters is your own input and the luck factor is as limited as possible, I don't really think it has much of a place in that. To me, it's the equivalent of introducing exploding baseball bats into baseball. You know, every 10th baseball bat randomly explodes. And although it sucks for the players and it introduces a randomness factor, it's very exciting for the audience to see players lose their hands while they're trying to play the sport that they've been practicing for their entire life. You know, it just introduces this luck factor, just more excitement into the game. This is how I feel about 4-player maps as well. And I don't think I could have asked for a better strategy out of Hon Mono to kind of illustrate this point, as he opens up with 3 barracks in the middle of the map. Now we see 3 Point is going for a scout towards the top side as well as to the left side. Sadly forgot to send the 3rd Overlord, which he doesn't have yet, through the middle. So as a result now, what are we getting? A very late response to a 3-Rex Proxy Reaper, which seems like a wild build, by the way. I have never seen it executed like this. This has to be the most all-in version of the 3-Rex Reaper that I've seen in my life. I also don't entirely understand how you're supposed to hold Reapers. This is my... I'm not sure if it's even a criticism. This was my one question that I had. It's like, how do you beat it? Because I don't understand it. I actually don't. We have 4 links on the way out. We're gonna get a creep colony down. Yes, sir. Is that a full wall? I think the answer is yes, that's a full wall. It's gonna finish up. I guess that's how you hold the 3-Rex Reaper. You build a freaking creep colony, turn it into a sunken, and ta-da, we got a good old time. I think you're gonna need another one back here though, because this bad boy is obviously about to die. You know, it's great to lock off an area, but it also means your links can't actually enter through that. So this thing is gonna die. I think you need another one, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit of anticipation, I wouldn't mind. It's obvious that this is an all-in. Let's just... Ooh, now I would like a full wall, actually. Yeah, now I do like that. Now I think this is a good call, because it allows you to actually get this sunken done. Oh, actually, it's still in range. So now you need to cancel it again. Oh, yeah, it's kind of horrible, isn't it? Ooh, now that it's done, though. Oof, that's game. Gotta morph this into a sunken as well. As... Hey, this is a good... He's gonna rush into lair. I guess the plan is to just play 1 base Muta against this or something. Which honestly is a very cool plan. Can he just run past, or is it also non-viable? Probably want to wall this area. I'd build an Evo chamber here. At least I'd like to believe that I would build an Evo chamber here. But you can just walk through these things? What the hell? That looks wild. Lair is now done. I'm waiting for the Spire. Okay, Spire has started. It's Evo time though. keep over here, no? Not having it. I mean, the moment this dude runs past, which is obviously the most... I don't actually know what to say about this, but this was to me the most obvious thing that was gonna happen. I've seen a lot of obvious things happening, but I'm pretty sure the local weatherman would have gotten this right as well. And the local weatherman hasn't gotten a lot right as of late. We're now gonna get another creep colony near the mineral line. You're not gonna run any more Reapers through this, right? It's not gonna be possible. So if you clear this bad boy, doesn't the game just kind of end? That is a fair question, to which I believe the answer is yes. The Spire gets cancelled. Funnily enough, this game isn't actually over yet. But once this dies, it will actually be over. You need 3 shots to deal with it, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think the game has ended. GG. Wow. Alright, we'll be going into match point. And as we enter game number 5, which is also going to be, sadly, our last game of this phenomenal grand finals. Ooh. What's he doing? Is he proxy hatching? Or is he just scouting? No. 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 Oh, actually, he's gonna find this. I mean, this is a pretty big tell, no? Hello? What? You saw the SCV? Hello? Can we get an update on this, Mr. 3-Point? This is a free win. This was an absolute free win if you pull your SCVs again, or your drones against this, even just 2. And this was not anywhere close near being done. Now the situation actually is worse than what it was last game, I think. And the reason for that is simple. It's because you've lost a lot of mining time sending this bad boy to scout. You scout that it's a cheese, but you're still gonna need to respond. You now figure out, oh, it is gonna be the 3-Rex once more, which is not weird because it worked. This map also is going to be harder to defend. We have a Reaper spot here. We have a spot where you can attack in front, and we have a Reaper jump spot in here as well. We're gonna instantly get this creep colony out, which can apparently be built before the spawning pool. I was honestly not aware of that. First Reaper's gonna pop soon as well. This hatch is not even done. This hatch is not even done as this drone's gonna start fighting. Hopefully the good fight. I don't understand what this hatchery is doing, but it's here. I guess. Double creep colonies is what I would say instantly would be the response, right? Yes, sir. There we go. Oh, let's get the kill there on the SCV, which is a big freaking deal. Gonna get the sunken. Hasn't started yet here. Like neither, like not all of these are gonna go down. You morph this one into a sunken. This one, I'm not sure about both. I'm not sure about both. I'm actually pretty sure that. I guess you can just cancel it, so it's not the end of the world, but still. SCV is gonna go down. It is going to finish up. We're going to get more links on the way. Yeah, hatchery has now been cancelled, which I think is a good call. It is still 16 workers to 11. Don't forget how all in this is. The mineral economy is not just terrible, it is god-awful. Links on the high ground. I think you want to get more sunkens, like maybe one in the back. Although it's not even really necessary. Okay, here we go. Jumps in. Gonna get caught instantly. Good moves. Really good moves. It's gonna build another one, which I actually like as well. And I think the next thing you want is one over here. So you stop this from... If you build one sunken over here, you can't even jump up anymore. So then all you need to do is defend the front. You have your links in the back. Some links over here to make sure he can't run by. And then you've won the game. Because you are up in workers. You're just up in workers. We're gonna have link speed coming in soon. Please don't attack off creep. It is just not necessary. You can go for a run by, but we don't have to attack up creep. Although... Now that I see this, if you have 24 links and the other dude has 6 Reapers, maybe it's not so bad to attack off creep. Pray the other dude isn't paying attention for a millisecond. This seems like a much more solid response, more grounded in reality than rushing Spire was, although a lot of these links are gonna end up falling as 2 Reapers go down already. Is there a jump spot here? I think there is, right? Yeah, there we go. These are gonna go down. A couple of links are gonna go across the map as well. More Reapers are in production. The worker count is just so heavily in favor, though, Oh, Boo! We're in, baby. So heavily in favor here of the Zerg player, as Reaper's now desperately trying to move back home. Every single SCV that goes down is a huge deal, very close to about, what, 10% of the income. So there's only 13 workers total, which is very little. I guess you have the mule, so it's not quite 10% of the income, but close to 10% of the active working force that isn't a robot. As these Reapers are gonna get taken out. Not having a full wall here is painful, is bad, and it sucks. And I think that's going to be the end. We get a lift here, we get a land, we get a lift, we get a land. And that is going to be G to the G. As 3 Point managed to win this grand final with a cute Ling Rush against the Reaper all-in. Yeah, this seemed fun because there's no queens, but the Sunkens are freaking powerful. And honestly, so are, like, the Lings are good too, you know, they're Lings. You get a bunch of those, you're gonna be banging. And I think that's going to be it for me today. I actually had a good time with this. I hope to do another Evo grand final or a show match, or if there's more tournaments in the, you know, somewhere over in the 3.5 months from now. We're just gonna keep you updated every couple of months. We'll see what's kicking off here. This was fun, but I don't want to watch too many more games now. Of course, if you want to play it yourself, be sure to head over to Battle.net and you type in SC Evo, and then once you're in there, you can play this stuff. It's freaking fun. You can play with your friends. You can beat them up, spamming defilers. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time for more entertaining videos. Bye-bye.